many of these have I done?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the inventory. I'm your host, Detective Johan. With me today, I have my usual co-host, Banana. Why don't you say hi?
Hello, I'm on time today.
Yes.
Unlike last podcast.
However, the rules of alchemy state that in order for something to be gained, something must be lost. Tim wasn't feeling too good, so he swapped out of this episode. Instead, taking his place, we have a familiar face. Why don't you say hi?
Okay, for starters, my face is not visible, so...
Okay, fair.
At any rate, hi.
We've got Opal, Cobalt. He was on last time. Or not last time, but he's been on before. But when he was on before, we had Mystic Knight, who we just so happen to have again. Why don't you say hi, Mystic?
Yeah, I loved it so much. I begged to come on again, and here I am.
Oh, by the way, Johan, what's the character that Opal made? How do you pronounce her name?
Nehru.
Oh, thank God.
He's learned from last time.
I tried to.
How long were you practicing that?
Already at the bottom of the barrel here.
Anyway, with introductions out of the way, let's get on to the testing tables and new characters to hit the game. Now, I've dedicated a very large portion of the podcast time to this in my mental script because the amount of changes that have happened within the last 2 weeks have been so absurdly long. It's been crazy. Kizuna AI hit the testing, and that's it.
I mean, that...
Yeah.
It's going to work.
Okay, now that was a little joke. Not much has happened. The only thing that's happened within the last time since we recorded was that Kizuna AI hit testing. And
she's great.
She's crazy. Mouse model, which is immediately like, you've got gold.
Already worth like 3 models or so.
3? Come on now, don't downsize the mouse model.
3 good models.
She was being worked on by Faraway Vision, who is currently busy with college, and so she was handed off to Natsu, who is No More Atheism Spam / NMAS fiance.
Bride of Namasp.
Yes, and
she's got the frizzy hair and everything.
Mm-hmm. And so it's Natsu's first character, and following the trend of solid newcomers, we've got yet another one, because I think Kizuna is great. I love her dialogue. I love her model.
She's trained under Namasp himself, so...
Yeah, I think...
the quality shines through.
Oh, definitely. Like, I really love the whole idea of Kizuna playing as if she's, like, doing a Let's Play and recording it. And I think, I think Natsu executed that perfectly. It's incredible.
Yeah, I didn't know a whole lot about Kizuna Ai, but as soon as I, watched a few videos and then played her, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, Natsu definitely nailed it. Really,
She's kind of, nonchalantly making comments as if no one can hear her.
Or as if she's talking to an audience.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Opal?
I really like the... Good grief. The art, the posing, the dialogue is on point. I do think it's kind of an interesting design choice at the moment to focus on filters rather than targets, which I guess could be explained a bit for the people who aren't familiar with making characters.
Oh,
you cut out.
You jumped out at the second.
But basically, I mean, I don't know if I'm the best one to explain it because I haven't prepared, but basically just she uses tags instead of names to talk. So she'll talk to a short character, but she may not know who that short character is.
Yeah, it's tags, basically.
And
it's an interesting way to do it.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about that is all of your characters' tags are kind of weighted equally, so you don't really know which one she's going to say.
Yeah, you can't reply to it unless it's a target. which must be the bane of your existence, Banana.
It would be nice. She has plenty to say about my girl's tags, but I don't know which order they're going to play in.
How is he supposed to write? How is he supposed to use Kizuna to write the lines that will get Maya up to 10,000 if all she does is target tags?
I guess I just can't. Life isn't fair.
Oh no!
You just have to metagame.
Ever manage to break 10,000 lines? Just so much.
I guess I'll just have to be more proactive and target others some more. It's always possible.
No, it's not.
I do have like a backlog built up of like things worth targeting about the newer characters that I haven't done yet because I've been focusing on Revi and Ryuko.
I should target the crap out of
stuff I want to target eventually.
What?
I've got some stuff I still need to target. Like I want to target Ryuji more with Renka. I just need to think of a way to go about doing that.
Is she gonna break his dick?
Probably not.
That seems like a Rinka move.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong, but...
She's just gonna Amazon him?
I've already got my epilogues for her planned out. I can't afford more.
Oh boy.
What are they?
Well, I guess since we were about to move on to upcoming projects from the guests, Rinka currently has the dual epilogue with Koren. She will be getting one with Juri. I was trying to remember the last letter. It's not Jura. My brain is saying Jura. It's not Jura. She's getting one with Juri Han eventually, and Setsuna from the game she's from.
Oh boy!
Just, insert Fire Emblem game. They're all the same.
Ouch.
Make an anime girl, put her in armor, Fire Emblem waifu. Like, this is not a hard character design.
I will prove you wrong, I promise.
Armor, huh?
We have faith in you, Opal.
Or you can just be on the D list, like Rinka is.
Okay. It hurts.
Well, she doesn't have any armor. More people would like her if she had armor on. Clearly.
Everybody knows you're more powerful with the less armor you wear.
Anyway, speaking of Fire Emblem characters...
Rinka got a whole alt costume for Halloween with armor on.
She got 2.
Okay, well, one she was like a ghost demon, so... In the first one, she just had armor on.
It was barely armor.
Besides, Fire Emblem rules, all you have to do is be really good at blocking, and all of a sudden you can block a sword with your hand.
Yep. Entirely
Speaking of another fucking Fire Emblem character, Paul, why don't you go over your work in progresses?
Oh, God.
I think I might have mentioned it. I'm currently working on shoes, so that's really nice. But shoes specifically for a Fire Emblem character, Rachel from the Sacred Stones, or some name in Japanese that I don't know.
Rachel?
Yeah, Rachel. Yes.
Rachel.
That's how it's pronounced?
Is that like French for Rachel?
I don't think so.
She's the Rachel?
I mean, she is, but she makes very clear that she is the Rachel. She is the most important Rachel. She's the only Rachel.
Okay. Keep it out.
Yeah, I keep letting go of the button a little bit too early. Anyway,
can you put her with Monica and like the Friends theme starts playing? I know Blue Coin's making Phoebe.
And we've already got Joey.
Are we rigged together a Friends
exactly.
Table?
All we need are Ross and Chandler, and the Friends table will be complete.
Wow,
yeah,
incredible.
But I'm so far super proud of the model work, even if that is, all tooting my own horn at this point. But
I mean, to be fair,
I've seen it.
Good. I've seen it. You can toot that horn.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're listening to the podcast,
anyone has seen it.
Yeah, if you're listening to the podcast and you haven't actually seen the model, you're doing a disservice to yourself. You should see the model. It's actually incredible.
I still have to make the boots. I would have been doing that right now, but here I am doing this, so...
Well, that's what gets me going, is the woman's boots.
Okay, so beyond Rachel, do you have any other projects you'd like to talk about?
I mean, nothing else with so much as a single belt or line of dialogue, so not really no.
Okay, well
Bill's
then.
trying really hard to avoid that whiplash.
He's trying.
Yes, actually. If I keep two things on my plate at a time, I don't think I can get whiplash.
Just stay close to me, Opal. I carry with me the anti-whiplash gene.
See, that's why I'm just working to target your 3 girls so far so much.
Nice, because I drop more projects than I make. So.
That's not what I want to do. But also,
they're feeding into each other's line count like some sort of strip poker titty robberess.
Mine is only 2,000 right now. Okay, you can't actually get mad at me. Also 2,000, so that was a cool milestone.
Yeah, man.
Clap, clap, clap.
That's awesome.
I'm just going to keep bugging myself. I don't care. You invited me here. You knew what would happen.
I mean, hey, I invited you for a reason. Last time you two were on, it was my favorite episode. So
do a lot more talking.
The banter's strong.
Let's go for 2.
It is strong.
Okay, so now, do you want to talk anything about your progress with Ryoko?
Ryuko?
Please don't.
You wanna try that again, Johan?
Ryoko.
Ryuko.
No.
Ryuko.
Like Ryu, the guy from Street Fighter, and then Ko.
I believe her name is it means like stream or river or something.
Her name means like abandoned child.
Oof.
You know, because that's exactly what she was.
Makes more sense than like river. Okay. Do you want to talk about your progress on her?
Well, I haven't made too much progress since the last time. This past 2 weeks I've been focusing on catching up Revy. So Revy now targets every single character in the game at least once, and that includes like offline characters and online characters and like incomplete characters. Anyone who's ever been submitted to the game, basically, she has a line to them.
And she is scathing toward Nehru, I'm just gonna say.
Well, I mean, there's relatively few people that she like immediately has a positive opinion of. True. Just she's looking for things to make fun of. But that's what I've been focusing on, and now that that's out of the way, I've been feeling a little under the weather this past week, but now I'm ready to officially get started on Ryuko's dialogue. So I'm really looking forward to that. She might be my last character at least for a while, so I definitely want to make her special. And she's got Mako and Senketsu as backup to talk more sometimes. So I'm just going to be focusing on that, and you can expect a testing release of Ryuko Matsui, hopefully before the end of the year. So I'm going to have a lot more free time around like mid-December once my semester's over. So I'll probably sometime around there be able to finish her up. But that's going to be my focus for now.
You're going to make use of the speech bubble tail placement position?
Yeah. Yeah, if you have multiple characters in a pose, you can now like move where the speech bubble arrow is, which is definitely
so many
useful
new features. It's great.
Yeah, it's definitely very useful. I'm glad that came when it did. So now I can show clearly when Mako and Senketsu are the ones talking.
Shout out to the coders doing everything for like behind the curtains, making this game work magically.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of praise for that, but they've improved the game so much over the course of this past year.
Let's give them all a shout out right now. We've got Wolfie, Mike, Faraway Vision, Reform Copyright. Who else? There's
and our newbie, Aman Kurath.
Yeah. All right, shout out to you 5. You've been doing good. We appreciate you.
Did you say Reform Copyright?
Yes, I did.
Yep.
Okay.
Name's so nice, you say it twice.
Yeah. It sounds like something like a lawyer would have picked.
Code wizard and a lawyer? My God, this man has no bounds.
He's a Renaissance man.
Yeah, absolutely.
He specializes in anime titty law.
The best kind.
Yup.
He was the representative at the UN for Japan when they tried to ban lollies.
Tried?
Failed.
Okay, well. Anyway, Mystic, why don't we get on to your works in progress?
Yeah, recently I've just been doing a lot of maintenance work on Remy and Shimakaze after they got released. I'm probably gonna get them to 1,200 lines for Remy and 16 and a half for Shimakaze before I get any serious work on anything new. Remy has an epilogue drafted. I just have to sit down and actually do it. Yep. There was like the Shimakaze epilogue suggested as well, but I don't know.
You work pretty
I'm gonna take that one.
First Toho character in the game, which is funny because she wasn't the first one submitted to testing.
Yeah, but managed to sneak past Solitaire and get her to first on the lane.
If you haven't played Miko, who's still on testing, she's also a great character from Toho.
Yep.
They're both really
incredible. Nice. Absolutely incredible.
Is the Toho character going to show up without, like, their maidservant? Because they both have them.
There are like 120 Toho characters, so for the sake of space, we just combine them into one, so we can get that little bit extra value, you know?
I see.
You know,
are all of these characters little smug loli girls?
I want to say no, but I would be wrong.
All of them?
All of them.
Who do we have to thank for Toho? This just seems like this nebulous property.
I think it's the same guy who made
one person.
It's the same guy who made a Pop Team Epic, right?
No, I don't think so, friend.
Is this like one madman who's not even getting paid for it? Like, what is this?
It is, in fact, one madman. It's a man who goes by the name of Zun, and he's been doing this for years. He just makes a Tuhu game every year.
Yeah, how old is it?
Is he in charge of naming them? Because I love his naming conventions.
He is. He's a one-man team. He does everything. Art, programming, music. The whole shebang. Yep.
I think I'm hot shit just for writing lines in an anime titty game. This guy is making his own anime titties and programming them and putting them in a bullet hell game.
Yeah, but you don't get the titty. So what's the point?
That's what the fans are for. The fans make the titty for you.
Well, clearly he has no interest in titty. He's just making lollies.
Mystic, do you have any upcoming projects?
I do. I'll probably do one last solo project, which will be another boat. A certain Russian Soviet era boat. I've been like painfully trying to build a model. The biggest thing from preventing me from just doing a million more projects is that I suffer whenever I try to model in Kisuke.
Oh, same.
Yeah, it's tough.
Don't feel bad, man. I mean, it takes like thousands of guys to build a boat.
Yeah, I'm just one man. Yeah, so
I mean,
you need like crane.
Came to like 47,000 belts or something that you could reach.
Yeah,
well,
like
see,
you can
that's
just iterate
not entirely true because you can just make them into image imports.
Turn it into image attachment. Yeah, you can have an unlimited amount of belts. Well, there probably is a limit, but I don't think any human can reach that limit. Would someone like to prove me wrong?
I mean, at a certain point, every belt is 1 pixel, and that's not really useful.
Dear
I shouldn't
God.
give mouse ideas.
Then you consolidate your image attachments.
Just is.
You just make them into a vector so that you can have unlimited pixels. That's how that works, right?
Terrifying. Maybe, yeah.
Actual 3D model.
Mouse can make it work. Yeah,
I have a feeling Mouse is hiding his power level.
I mean, probably, because, like, I'm scared of what Mouse can do, because he was able to make Amalia before image imports, and I think he, like, didn't even update Kisuke to 83. I think he was still in 68 until recently.
He showed me an assault rifle once that was made using a person. Like, a person was folded into the shape of an assault rifle.
Oh my god! He's killing people and making guns out of them? That's some Nazi shit.
It's incredible.
It was amazing.
Dude, you should, like, call the cops on him. That's fucked up.
I mean, they're anime girls, so does it really count?
It is the next stage of human evolution. Being a gun.
Anime girls are like peak humanity.
Well,
He's not wrong.
This is to go even further beyond.
But they also don't feel pain, unless I guess you're into that.
Yikes.
Does this podcast have a topic?
Nope.
I'm trying to railroad us, but I'm also kind of just letting it happen because it's mildly amusing.
You're just
we don't have enough
sitting there and you're
going
gonna take it.
to talk about.
Should we move on to the questions and answers?
It's coming and you can't stop it.
I can stop it, but I find it amusing enough to allow.
You gotta take it.
Let's just free
Even if
flow
it's up
banter
the
for
ass.
2 hours. Come on.
Let's move on to the questions and answers. For the first 4 questions, they are questions that they have answers that are what they are. So there is no reason to have more than one of us answer. Question 1. A mobile app. Read the text, quit mobile browser. It's painful. That sounds like it would get removed from the App Store within the first day.
Yeah, we would like be able to get onto the Android store, but we would get like DMCA'd or something very quickly, I'm sure.
You could probably get it on the Amazon App Store. But who can even use that App Store?
It just takes like, I don't know, Nintendo fighting us and just going, we disagree with this, and then we're screwed.
And then it's like, well, okay. We can't exactly argue that.
Yep.
But not even
Then you have to remove all the Nintendo characters. So sorry.
Sorry, Fire.
Mr. Sanana, I don't feel so good.
Or we just
Meanwhile, the creators of Vandred are like, wait, what? What's that show?
Haven't
Never heard of it.
So the second question, it's, will Yuri Space Pirate ever finish her fanfic on AO3? It started great, and it would be a shame if it died. And I want to let you know something. If you are going to be the one who reminds Yuri about it and delays Hanako any further, I will find you, and I will kill you. The next question is...
That's pretty fiery, Johan.
Every time? Happens every time?
I think you need to turn down the heat. I mean, Hanako's nearby.
Ideally, she should be ready by the next podcast, and I can have Yuri on.
Oh God, we pray.
How's she going to be prepared? Medium well?
Whew. I hope that she's well done. I worked hard on her. Yeah. Yeah, I can do it too.
Very nice, friend. Very nice.
The next question is, what happened to SPNati Swimsuit Edition? The man who was maintaining it left on terms that were less than optimal, and that's all that needs to be said about it.
I mean, if you would like to like start it up again, you're free to do that if you can figure out how to run it. I'd say the big challenge is like trying to get everyone on board, because I sure as hell don't want to put the effort into adapting my characters for it, because you'd have to change their entire dialogue file, which is what they're built upon, is how many layers they have. So,
yep,
that's not something you can do in like an hour.
There's a lot to do there.
Probably half the reason Link even got in or I guess the most recent character, because all he uses is a recolor.
Right, so not a lot of motivation for me, at least, to get him on there. But if you'd like to try to adopt it, you know, SPNati's motto is always do it yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can.
Yeah. Which is also the answer to the next question. Will you add characters like Rias Gremory or Nakari Erina?
Who?
You can. I assume, like, Rias Gremory, that name sounds familiar. I think it's like...
From DxD.
Yeah, that. You can do it. You can make it happen. You can be the change you want to see in the world. If you want to see a character, you gotta make them.
Be the change you wish to find in your pocket.
Words to live by.
Absolutely. Unless, of course, you'd like to see a Fire Emblem girl, then just kind of wait and rolled the
Yeah.
dice.
It'll happen by
Yeah.
itself.
That or Ruby.
You see, the thing with the Fire Emblem girls is that there's so many. If you want a specific one, you can wait and pray, or you can be the guy that makes Rinka.
You can start working on them, but you're gonna get pelted with another fucking Fire Emblem girl.
Yeah.
If
I
you
mean,
want
let's
to
be
make
real.
a Fire Emblem character, I will defend you. I will die for you,
You just might.
Oof.
and I will send Rinka lines your way. Anyway, time for the question and answer
Female
segment.
Corin update when?
God, I've been bullying Nessie about that for years.
Nessie, please.
Question 1. What is the biggest challenge of making a forbidden waifu? Now, for those
Finishing
who
it.
are unfamiliar with the term, forbidden waifu is the term that we here on the Discord use to describe characters that people keep asking for, but nobody wants to make. Characters like Bayonetta, characters like Tharja, or 2B. And up until recently, Monica and the rest of the DDLC girls were on that. And it is really tough to make a character that is that popular because you've got a lot of people who like that character. And you're going to want to make sure that you make them all happy and that you write the character correctly.
I mean, that also means you'll get a lot of help.
Yeah, you'll get a lot
if
of
you
help.
reach out.
You'll get a lot of feedback. But it's also quite, like... Hanukkah was probably the character that... Well, maybe Chiaki. But those two characters are the characters I made that are arguably the most, like, well-known, popular characters I've written. They're nowhere near the level of those characters that there's so much demand for me actually making them for. And so...
Starfire's another one.
Yeah, Starfire is another one. Just know that if it doesn't have... I think the best advice I can give you is that a character doesn't have to be perfect when they first hit the testing table. Almost nobody has been, almost nobody will be. When Rinka first hit the testing tables, she was super ass. But I think that she's been brought up to the level where she's generally one of the more enjoyable characters.
She was ass, now she has an ass.
Yep, and that is thanks to Superfluous.
Yeah, I mean, look at, like, Chun-Li first arrived on the testing table. She was pretty rough around the edges. And, like, everybody knows Chun-Li, for example, and wants her in there. And, Metalitar just, improved really quickly with feedback.
Oh yeah,
And I think you'll surprise yourself with how fast you can improve. As long as you take people's feedback into consideration.
Metalitar is one of the best creators we have now.
Yeah, so if you really feel strongly about making one of these characters, like, go ahead, like, be that guy. And, everyone will love you for it. Or girl.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think there's, like, besides having more people to please, I don't think making those characters is any more challenging than any other character. It's just that because so many people want them, and not everyone's cut out to, like, actually make them, it just makes it seem like they're challenging to make. It's just that more people try to start and then quit because they're in demand.
Yeah,
As it's
I
on
think
my mind, it might also be worth pointing out that a huge chunk of the work is dialogue. So if for whatever reason you think you can write a character but you're not sure about the art, it's probably fine.
yeah, you will find an artist, no worries.
Yeah. Just don't pick Yuri, because she'll take a while.
Hey, I mean, if Yuri didn't offer to do the image editing for Hanako, then I wouldn't have written those 1,000 lines.
He's got a point.
Yuri is
Or you
good.
can do the Chad move and just do everything yourself.
Yeah,
I wasn't at
you
that level at the time.
are a savior.
Anyway, anybody else have anything to add, or should we move on to the next question?
Yeah, just gonna say, like, if you're making a forbidden waifu, you'll probably get a lot louder feedback than if you pick a niche character, and you kind of just have to, like, brace yourself, because I think that's the biggest part of making a character that everyone wants, is that everybody will have an opinion. And so you just need to be like ready and responsive to feedback if you do decide that you want to grace us with a forbidden waifu.
If you're open to those opinions and you're open to learning from them, they're
you'll
going to
do perfectly. You don't have to worry at all.
Yeah.
I mean, my 1.5 characters are definitely niche, so I don't think I can speak much to the question.
Let's move on
find
to
the midpoint like I did.
Second question. Is there an older project you would rather have had someone else do? I would have rather had Pivotal Cog do Kyoko Kirigiri, because...
Oh, is this just any character?
I assume.
I think so. Well, I guess it has to be older.
Yeah, like, Kyoko's kind of abandonware. Nope, she hasn't been updated. But Cog's played Danganronpa, and he's an extremely talented writer, so I would have liked that. I'm not as big a fan as Anne Takamaki in canon as I am Kyoko Kirigiri, but I think seeing NMASP for Thursdays do, but also they are reworking her, so there's that. That's my answer. I would have liked to have seen Dranky do Maya.
Why? just so I could suffer?
Yes.
Yep.
Just because you hate me?
No, that's not true. I love you, but I'm also get off on your suffering, so.
I'd prefer if nobody did Rinka. That way we'd have more space for good characters.
Okay, well played. I'll take it. I'll take the L.
What do you mean, though? I think Unmasked could do just fine with Maya.
Man's got a point. Man's got a point.
It's an inside joke.
Oh, right. The inside joke that
I guess there's a lot of characters near the end of the roster, like Sayla, that I wish were just made by someone that stuck around, so they could keep getting updates. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess there are certain creators that are better suited for certain voices than others, but I can't really think of any. They're like done particularly badly, where I go, oh, this is out of character. I wish someone else did this.
I mean, it also does feel to an extent like you'd be starting crap, being like, man, this character's dialogue currently just sucks. I really wish someone else had done it.
Anybody else want to add on to this question, or should we move on?
I have a cheat
Zeus
answer,
explaining
which
that
is
Captain Falcon rework, so
yeah, that's gonna be exciting.
But again, I wish there were no males at all.
I could get on board with that.
Great. Yeah, my cheat answer was Mouse doing Rosalina. That's also a throwback to the last time we were here. Yeah, Mouse would probably do wonders. And I had an interesting idea, actually. I would have liked to see Underscore do Samus, but like in her actual, like, not Zero suit. Whatever the actual suit is called. Because I know Underscore loves his armor. Yeah, that's the one.
And she just keeps it on the whole time?
Well, she would take it off, sure. It is strip poker, of course.
She just strips the suit inside of her power suit. It's like, what? I'm naked.
Underscore would find a way to keep as much of it on as possible. I believe in him.
Of all the characters to manage to take off their bra before taking off another item, Samus removing her bra from inside the power armor would be the most legendary.
Yeah. No, Mouse Pro doing Rosalina would definitely be awesome. She's the best Mario girl, but Mouse doesn't seem very interested, unfortunately. Yeah. So clearly the solution is to kidnap him and force him to do it.
Alrighty.
Go full Bowser.
On to the next question. If people don't like the character you're making, not because of their appearance or quality, but because of their core personality, i.e. gross, extremely sexual, annoying to talk to, dumb, has a desire to make people feel terrible, should you continue to make them? I feel that as long as the character is okay. This is why you probably shouldn't put a character on testing with 1,000 lines. You should probably, when they have them on, he says this, he gives Hanukkah 1,000 lines. You should probably have them hit testing with a line count that you'd be comfortable redoing completely, just in case people don't like them. Because ultimately, when you are making a character, you are making it for a crowd. And so, if a character feels like there's no demand for them, you probably won't want to put in too much effort just to have that all go nowhere. Yet at the same time, you want to make first impressions good. So you gotta find the right spot. In my opinion, as long as a character doesn't break any of the rules put forth by the mods on the subreddit, then you could probably find a way to handle them well and get them in and make them enjoyable.
I mean, this isn't really like specific fetishes. This is just like specifically personality. So it's kind of hard to say. I mean, surely if you want them there, you should be able to, like, they should be appealing to you, right? So you should be able to convey why that might be appealing to at least one other person. You can't expect them, like any character, to appeal to everyone. Like, Maya's stoic, there's plenty of people that don't like that and just feel like she just has no personality, which is retarded because stoic is a personality. But I mean, there's plenty of people that don't like Revi. It's perfectly understandable. She's really abrasive and like she swears all the time and she's really vulgar. Like, obviously that's not going to appeal to everyone, but it appeals to some people. As long as you can make that argument somehow.
You will never make it so everyone likes your character.
Yeah.
There will always be somebody who it's not their cup of tea. And that doesn't say anything about the quality of the character. It's just a matter of preference at that point. And if you enjoy a character and you want to make them and you'd like to see them in the game, more than likely, yes, there is somebody out there who shares your tastes. And if you make it quality, you might even convince people that who would have initially thought otherwise.
Yeah, you can't confuse a character's quality and a character's appeal. You can have high quality characters that appeal to no one, and that's not.
Waluigi with
bad
12,000 lines.
Yeah, and like a really weird example, but because you've talked about it before, is Uhura, whatever.
Uhura.
Yes.
We know she's very not great in terms of like what she's designed to be, but the execution of the design is actually kind of impressive. But it's not an appeal everybody's into. But like, yeah, part of this is that you don't know until you've tried. There is like zero reason to give up before you hit testing. You don't know how like the general public is going to react to your character. Like, even if you're providing updates and asking people on the dev Discord, let's say, it's really hard to get a feel for how people are going to think about your character until you've actually made them to a point where they're playable. So, like, even if you're having these concerns, you shouldn't worry until you've got a testable product first. But, if you're having concerns that early into your character development, you do have to be a little bit cautious. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Never be afraid to ask for help or feedback. It is the most valuable way to get better at writing dialogue or modeling or posing.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't think anyone's going to like them, then ask yourself, why do you like them? And just do your best to capture that.
Mm-hmm.
I would have, about like 5 minutes ago, would have given the unequivocal yes and just agreed wholeheartedly. But then it hit me that there are characters I can think of that I've decided myself, like, oh no, their truest two character. My example in my mind is Cosmos, who if you posed her the truest to her character way, she would have about 5 poses, period. So, I don't know, I guess it's just...
I'm not familiar.
Cosmo's basically an android.
Xenosaga?
I'm not sure. I played in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which you hate, so...
Yeah, well... we'll get to that in a second.
Oh boy.
Don't
But
worry.
I guess it's more just the... Like, if they're... I don't know, I guess you could still say she could be, like, taken a bit farther from her canon, but... And I guess she isn't one of the forbidden waifus, so that would probably be a fine example, but... I don't know, I think there might still be a point at which you would have to say, okay, well, this character probably wouldn't actually be a good fit. That line, don't get me wrong, is probably, like, really far out there, but I think the line does exist somewhere.
Yeah, there probably is a point where if you're extrapolating that much from your character, you're basically making an OC at that point.
You've got
and
to
yeah, that's kind of a oh no. But I mean that doesn't mean the character is fundamentally flawed or anything. That might just be the way you're approaching them, that you're extrapolating the wrong parts about them. It's really tough to make a blanket statement on this.
Yeah, you'd need like a case study of a specific character, really.
Yep. But I guess you can make a blanket statement. Ask for feedback.
Yeah,
that's just how it is.
That's a blanket statement to most things, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you're unsure about something, just ask for help. Nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid.
So, shall we move on to the next question?
I think we're good, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you / should you send your character to other people to test before you put them on the tables? I've done it a few times. I've had people give it to me. And I think that ultimately, yes, it is more helpful because it can, if you put them on tables and you just pounded with negative feedback, I can imagine that would be very, disheartening. But if you give them out to people who, you can trust to give you good feedback, then you'll be able to have them hit tables with a relatively positive first impression. That's all I have to say about that.
There is also kind of an aspect of putting your best foot forward, like trying to make a good first impression, but there also seem to be a few people playing the game who don't know about the testing tables button, so that might not be too big an issue.
You know what, you know.
Yeah. Where is the testing tables button? Is a uncomfortably common question.
So
I don't think there's a world. Yeah, I don't think there's a world where the answer to this is no. Like, when is it a bad thing to get extra testing done before you ask the rest of the world to do testing?
I'm not really sold on the concept, to be honest.
I think the point if you don't want to ask more help would be if you've already sent it to a ton of people. Like, I think sending it to everyone as a sneak peek is not really a sneak peek anymore. It should just be on the tables.
It's not like a horrible thing to ask for private testing among trusted people if you don't feel comfortable putting something on public.
But also the testing tables have the express purpose of testing, so...
I mean, if you're not comfortable with putting something out in the public for random anonymous users to bitch about, then you probably aren't cut out for developing for this game. You kind of have to take that. I mean...
That's fair.
You will be weathered by the rivers of...
There is a certain element of you might send it to people who will be a little too nice to you. Just me personally, I've never done this private testing thing. I want the public to see what I've done, and I want to hear from everybody.
Just ask if you can send it to Johan. He will be brutal if he needs to be.
That's
literally what I was going to ask. I was going to say, yo, so can I play Ryoko when this is over?
Well, she currently has about let's say not that much dialogue. So
yeah, so can I play Ryoko when this is over?
The poses to the default lines and send it to Johan anyway.
Yeah, she is technically in a playable state. She has poses for each case. So she does function. She just has no lines,
He
basically.
only
go.
has like
That
2,000
sounds
lines. You have
testable to
to give
me.
him time.
So she will function in a game. Let's say that.
She's gonna hit the tables with 5,000 lines.
Like a computer wouldn't notice anything wrong.
No.
Let's say that.
No error reports on the validator. Hell yeah.
I do think that if you are writing a character that's from a series that an active author has the character from, it might be worth giving them some files just so they can get started on writing targeted lines and have those ready for when your character hits the table.
I think that just to coordinate interactions, I think would be really nice.
That
There's
was
some people
something
on.
that I had to do when Cog and I were working on My Hero. So that we
There's
could
some
have
there's
those
some people on
work.
4chan that were like complaining about how was it Kali?
Yeah, Kali doesn't
Kaylee?
interact with Blake enough.
Because she doesn't target her daughter enough.
As her own daughter. And that was really pissing him off. And he said, like, you shouldn't be able to release a character unless they target the other characters.
Yeah, the Poured On was getting very heated about that. I was good
Yeah.
to witness.
It's just like, dude, she's on testing. But
She's not in the main game yet.
yeah. Like, it's
Alrighty.
on the testing tables. You can't expect the world of them.
You mean to tell me this beta isn't,
Isn't representative of a finished model? What?
So, anybody else have anything to move on, or should we... anything else to add, or should we move on?
Just a small example. I did get sent like an early preview edition of a certain testing table character, and I basically just like did spell check proofreading. And I think that in itself is healthy to get a better first impression, because I did a lot of editing proofreading in that case.
I got sent a few images for a character's poses and found a completely mismatched color scheme in a couple of images. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was me. I sent you those. Thanks, dude. Thanks for that. By the way, I fixed this. I still plan on getting them done by the end of the year.
Oh joy!
Fun times ahead. Yeah, I think just like early preview testing is good for making sure you don't have any massively broken issues with your character before they hit the tables. Because I feel that like hitting the tables with something fundamentally broken about your character really does leave a sour taste in your mouth. And like that could be caught by sending it to 2 or 3 people and finding that, I have made a critical mistake.
I mean, you could find like broken images and things just with the character editor validator, and obviously you should play them yourself offline before releasing them publicly. So the only critical error you should submit them to testing with is like you wrote them wrong.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean. Like I feel like when you're writing, it can be a bit hard to distance yourself from what you're doing and what you should be doing, I guess. You can have a great idea, and you can have convinced yourself it's a great idea, but that might not be the case. Yeah, like those are the kind of things a quick early preview might catch.
I think that it's time to move on to this next question, which is just for me, and then there will be a follow-up for y'all. This question is for Ohan. Why did you decide to not continue working on Hope? She's incomplete at the moment, and at the moment isn't on your work in progress, even though you have that better model now. When I first started deving for SPNati, I made a very, very, very rough... I started out pretty shit. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I was garbage. Man.
Could you maybe say beach trash?
Yes, I could, but I wouldn't because it hurts. I made Hope Alonzi from Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is my favorite game of all time. I love that game. I've sunk 300 plus hours into it. I 100%ed it. Fucking best game in my eyes. And I wanted to make a character from it. And so I initially made Hope Alonzi, but looking back on it, I feel like I really fucked up writing her. I feel like I butchered her character. She's shy, but I feel like I made her too shy. Like, she is a bit of a pushover, but she's not the way I wrote her. And as I looked back on that, I became more and more unhappy as to how I wrote her. And I realized that if I want to get Hope in the game, I'd almost have to completely rework her. I made an updated model, I started posing it. And as I was posing, I'm like, I love Xenoblade Chronicles X. And I love this character, I love all the characters in it. But I don't feel as though I can do it justice with my current skill level. And so, until further notice, until I think I am good enough to give my favorite game of all time the representation it deserves, I'm not going to continue working on Hope Alonzo. I have plans at some point in the future to bring her back and to make her fucking great so that everybody can enjoy her, even those who didn't play Xenoblade X, even those who only know Xenoblade through the inferior sequel. But that is my goal. She will come back eventually, and maybe even alongside more Xenoblade X characters. But only once I feel confident enough in both my writing and my modeling and my skills in general to give that game the fucking love it deserves.
And that's pretty hardcore.
Yes.
I just kind of wandered my way into Kisuke. I'm like, I'm gonna make Maya. I like Maya. She's my waifu. I want to stick my penis in her. So I'm like, I'm gonna make this happen. Balls to the wall. I don't care what my current skill level is.
I mean, yeah, I guess my experience was similar to that.
There's your answer.
The relation to that was like he wants to like make sure that he's like at the absolute peak of his skill level to make like characters from his favorite game, and I just kind of wandered into it.
I get what he means. I'm kind of doing the same thing. I have not made my one true anime waifu for SPNati yet, and I kind of plan to.
Having a model for you.
So you're practicing on little lowly Toho girls.
I'm getting a whole bunch of fodder characters out of the way to sharpen my blades, and then when I'm ready, I will make my magnum opus, and it will be incredible. But until that day, I wait.
Anyway, though, I should just turn my back on everything I once believed about myself and make Rex just to spite Johan.
Oh, Paul.
Who?
Rex, the worst protagonist from any RPG ever.
Also a male, which I thought I would never make, but I mean...
Who?
Literally.
He's the protagonist from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and he sucks.
He's self-inserted.
Why does he suck? This is now the Xenoblade podcast.
Okay.
He's a living...
Johan explains Xenoblade to Spanana.
Okay, basically, Shulk from Xenoblade 1 was a very complex, interesting, deep character whose motivations and goals changed.
The guy from Smash who's really feeling it?
Yes. His goals and motivations changed throughout the series, or throughout the game, as he
really
learned more
his motivation.
And understood more.
He's really feeling it.
Of the world, and he was a very human character.
Oh, rip.
You got cut out. He got Thanos.
Oh no, we have no direction. We don't have the questions. What's going to happen?
No motivation or goals or aspirations or dreams or anything beyond.
No, I completely cut out for like 10 seconds.
With Rex in Xenoblade 2, he has no goals or aspirations that go any deeper than the shallow end of a kiddie pool. He exists solely to move the plot along. He has almost very little to no character growth throughout the entire game. The peak of it is when he doubts himself for mere seconds towards the 2/3 into the game, which is immediately pushed aside as he's slapped by a little robot girl. His character sucks in every conceivable way, and it baffles me how they were able to backpedal in quality from the original Xenoblade Chronicles. And so whoever makes Rex for SPNati will make an enemy in me.
Did Shulk get Thanos in that Smash trailer?
They didn't
Everybody
show
got
it.
Thanos in that Smash trailer.
They didn't show him getting Thanos. They showed him seeing it.
Do you think when that light hit him, he was really feeling it?
Okay,
Yeah, he
so
would
the
really
follow-up
fit in.
question to the Hope one was, have any of you guys ever dropped a project for SPNati, and how far along were you?
I have not.
I've tried not to. Okay. So when I was making Shimikaze, early in her development, I had a lot of ideas for other characters. Just because I was in a very thinking mood back then. And I did have an idea for another boat I wanted to do, Suzuya. And one day I was a little bit bored of working on Shimikaze, so I sat down and I put together a model in like 30 minutes. And it wasn't great, but it was workable. And that's the last I ever worked on her. Part of it was because, I didn't want to feel the whiplash, especially when I hadn't got Shimikaze to testing yet or anything. But another part of it was that I couldn't see what she would add to SPNati. Like, Shimikaze would be the first Kankola character to hit SPNati, so I couldn't rest on that to show why she's interesting. And her personality is very generic schoolgirl, besides the whole I'm a boat part. I'm just I guess we have characters on the roster who already do that. So,
We already have boats on the roster.
Yeah, well, like I said, Shimikaze was going to be a boat, and that's pretty unique. And there are schoolgirls on the roster, like An. An was my biggest comparison, and I'm just Suzuya is just An, who is also a boat. And I couldn't justify it to myself to keep working on her, because I feel, like I said, she just didn't add enough.
Moving to SPNanon, who I know has dropped a project. I know he's dropped 2, at least.
2?
Yeah, I make a clear effort to try to drop as many projects as possible before I waste too much time on them. Ouch. Is that a comedy moment?
Whoops.
That's
Go on.
a rim shot?
Maybe. Might have just dropped something.
Yeah, pretty early on I was thinking about doing Bulma from Dragon Ball. But, my Kisuke skills weren't great at the time. They still aren't great, but, she'd be better now. My point is I just didn't really feel like she would be that interesting to write. She would just kind of feel like Jura, but she knows what men are, so not as interesting for me to write, so it wasn't very exciting. I was also thinking about another Toriyama character, Ayla from Chrono Trigger, but I kind of nixed that just because, well, obviously she can't be good at cards because she's a caveman and she doesn't wear anything. So
I don't even like Chrono Trigger, and I was disappointed to hear you asked her.
I mean, she'd be kind of fun to write, but I think she'd just be out of the game so quickly that it would be a little pointless.
That's fair.
And she doesn't have much to strip, so I'm not sure what the appeal is there. Balalaika from Black Lagoon, same source as Revi. I haven't technically dropped her, but she's far on the back burner now, ironically, because she's all burned up. Just because she was originally going to be my next big project after Revi, but I felt like she was pretty niche, and because obviously burns, having a burned up body is kind of weird, and I had a lot of trouble modeling her because of that, and posing with her. So my enthusiasm for the project kind of got killed because it took months. And I just feel like she didn't have as much of a value add, since she was just another Black Lagoon character compared to something else that could get like a franchise that could get new representation. So I eventually just settled on Ryuko, since the Superfluous had already done a lot of the model work and she was looking great. She was already in the game at one point. Maya had killed her, so I'd like to atone for that sin. And I felt like she could go in a lot more interesting directions, since she was a little more outlandish, and she was the only character I'd make that actually has superpowers, and really cartoony animation. So Mako could pop in, and Senketsu could have hijinks and stuff. And it was a really exciting prospect to write. And of course, all of Kill la Kill is about clothes, so it makes sense that she'd be in a game about clothes.
Very fitting.
Yeah, literally fitting.
Alrighty.
So that's what I focused on. So
That's a look inside the brain of a SPNati.
I mean, I just try to. I pick projects based on like what would be valuable for the game. Do I really like this character, and does the prospect of writing them really excite me? And I think I could get a lot out of their personality. I think that's why I haven't really ended up making game characters as opposed to like anime characters, because anime characters have to talk a lot, so you have a lot to draw from, as opposed to a game where the characterization is a lot thinner.
All right. And with that, should we move on to the next question?
Sure.
Guess we're good.
Okay. How did you learn to write the more sexual parts of this game? Dungeons?
I think it's the one.
Just reading a lot of them.
I think you skipped one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When in the middle of development, do you think that it's a good idea to call it quits and try a new project? If you are not having fun, if you are not making progress, then maybe it's time to take a break, try your foot in another shoe, see if you can make another character. Like, with Hope, basically, I remade her entire model. And she's got, I don't know how many lines she's got, probably not that many, but I took a break from her, and I don't know when I'm going to be ready to continue. Meanwhile, with Kira, I started and stopped with him over and over until Zuja came. When is it time to stop? Whenever you feel like you aren't making what you want to make, I guess, is my answer.
I mean, I don't think you're going to have it click right away. It takes a while to develop a character's voice and personality and feel comfortable sort of slipping into that immediately. So I wouldn't give up right away. But if you're like 300, 400 lines in and you're still not getting the hang of it, that might be when it's time to reconsider.
I think what Johan said, that when you're no longer making what you want to make, I think that's part of it. But like, to go alongside that, I think if going against your vision would improve, if going against your vision for the character would, okay, I'll say objectively improve the character, that's when I think you should be reconsidering it. Like, if you want to do a character in a certain way and that way is not good, then I don't think you should continue with that project. It's going to be a painful experience for everyone involved. Trying to talk around the point very hard there.
All right.
I mean, it's something you really just have to decide for yourself. You have to be able to have that intuition for like whether you think the character is really being captured here.
To be fair, I personally have to tell myself to never quit in a character because I have this nasty habit of getting 95% of the time done something and then just kind of dropping it. I don't know why.
I mean, you
just
could do
me,
what
or
I
is this
did.
kind of a sleepy podcast?
I mean,
well, it's warm and in the afternoon here. I would love to take a nap. Yeah.
I did work today, despite my schedule saying otherwise, so I am a little out of it.
This is now a sleepy cast, an ASMR cast. I hope you've been enjoying our voices.
Yeah, I'm just going to unroll some masking tape here.
Oh, rat!
I'm gonna tap my fingernails on my printer.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop that metal plate again.
I'm gonna
find the chalkboard
and give it a good
I'm getting
scratch.
so comfortable right now. Oh.
I'm gonna try to move us on to the next question.
ASMR. I'm gonna. I have some aluminum foil that I'm gonna crinkle.
Anybody else have anything to add to the question, or should we move to the next one?
We can move on.
I had one more thing. Like, when you're working on a character, try to answer the questions we ask when you're doing the sponsorship request. And if you,
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, if you're struggling to answer any of those questions for yourself, you should think about your approach to the character.
Yeah.
And if you can't think around that, then you might want to think about starting a new project.
Yeah, particularly the add value.
Definitely add value. Yep.
Yeah. What is this character bringing to the table, and how are you achieving that?
If you take a break from a character, that doesn't equate to giving up on them completely. You can always come back when you're more comfortable with your skills.
Hmm. Like, as long as you haven't given the world a deadline, you're fine to do that. And even if you have given the world a deadline, you can just continue to ignore it.
Yeah, you'll be the butt of plenty of jokes, but you can still go on.
We'll still respect you for it. You don't have to worry about that.
Valerie was supposed to be out for Halloween, but
Okay, so we are going to just call him out.
Life isn't fair. He doesn't listen to the podcast.
On.
We can make fun of him all we want.
Valid. That's valid.
Hex, please.
We can literally just shit on him for 2 hours and he'll be on the water.
We bully because we want her. We're excited for her.
Valerie's cute.
Valerie when?
Although she probably smells bad.
I'm glad I don't have a sense of smell.
At all?
Nope.
Are you like the opposite of a dog?
Born without it.
Yikes.
Wait, does SPNati have smell-o-vision already? That might not be handy. I don't think we want that.
Let's make that next April.
Shall we move on?
Sure.
Speaking of April, wow, Mahira.
Ooh.
Well, okay. I get it. I get it. Anyway, how did you learn to write the more social parts of the game? Being alone.
Could you spit that out a little faster, Johan?
How did you learn to write the more sexual parts of the game?
Alright, thanks.
Back to ASMR mode, I see.
I hope nobody
enjoyed
that.
Real close to the mic here. Oh.
Joke's on you. My mouth is already close to the mic.
Okay, so basically being a lonely loser who reads tons of doujinshi and manga. There. That's how I did it.
Yep.
I mean, if there's a doujin that you think captures the character in a sexual situation fairly well, and not just like cringy hentai lines, I think that's a decent starting place.
Yeah.
SPNati had an entire game to work from.
Please don't have like weird IKEA-esque porn dialogue where like, put your penis in my vagina. Nobody talks like that.
If you write Saber, you're legally allowed to make that joke.
Yeah, like the best way to just write dirty talk is like, just picture yourself in a room with these people and they're real people. Can you imagine any of them talking like that ever? Just ask yourself, would a real person ever say it? And I know that most of you have never been with a woman, but
ouch.
You're at least a real person, and ask yourself, would you say this to a stranger in a room? I mean, it's always going to be a little cringy if you're not into the sexual dialogue. So I would especially if you should probably try to be a little aroused yourself when you're your own dialogue should get you going. I think. I think
they say don't shop while horny, but writing while horny is perfectly fine. It's probably good.
Well, write the masturbation lines when you're horny. Don't write everything while you're horny.
Don't go full moon. Only partial moon.
Yeah.
Never go full moon.
I mean, just like if it's your waifu and you're a guy and they're talking, they have to do dirty talk for men. Like, you don't have to, you don't have to worry about being gay or something. Like, just write what you would want them to say to you, but make sure it sounds like something a real person would say if they found you attractive.
For me, I think
go ahead.
I think the short answer for me is I have never been able to write smut ever, or that kind of sensual dialogue. I've never found success doing it.
If you're apprehensive about writing sexual dialogue and you don't think you could pull it off really well, then write a character that is similarly apprehensive and doesn't want to acknowledge it, and would be very shy and like shy away from it.
Yeah, there are ways to write around your lewds. In fact, both my characters, all they fucking do is write around lewds, because I can't write lewds for shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think, I haven't gotten any complaints on Nehru regarding those, other than not enough lines in her last two phases, but, it's weird. She's weird to write, okay? I made her
Yeah,
hard to
it's
target,
just,
and now she's hard to write in phases.
like, subtlety, I think, goes a long way with sexual like don't be overt. Like flirting is like teasing and like not quite saying things outright.
True,
don't say, just spray your cum all over me, big boy. Like, say like, ooh, who are you thinking about? Stuff like that.
You can say a lot without saying a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes
That's
less
the
is
art
more
of the
with
tease.
the sexual dialogue. Yeah, but
Anyone else have anything to add?
the best piece of advice there is just, would a real person say this ever?
If you can picture Moon saying it, don't write it.
Yeah, play a couple games with Moon and do the exact opposite of that.
Just don't write Moon. Yeah, there you go. You couldn't possibly go wrong with a mindset like that. No way.
Because those are things that a real person would never say ever. Except for the line she has about Glove World, which is awesome.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Anyone else got anything to say?
I'm good.
No. Yeah, just be me. Pick short masturbation timers and then just deal with the rest of the lines in a different way. You can game the system. You shouldn't game the system. That's not a good mindset. But if you're in pain and suffering, just game the system. Find better ways to do it.
Yeah. Another good thing to do is, like, when they're masturbating, have them, at that point, crack a little bit, because they're in a very compromising position. So, like Maya, for example, masturbating, like she is trying to remain relatively calm and calculating, but you can tell she's like slipping a little bit. Jura is like trying to tease people, but again, she is having a hard time maintaining her composure. So like, just try to like slightly tweak it towards like more sexual. Like, they should not undergo a complete personality change, right? Like they're still who they are. They're just in a sexual situation.
Alrighty. The next question is, which SPNati character do you think would be best in real games for poker? Mia, because she's a fucking... Mia or Kyoko, because they're just smart.
But friend, they can't even cheat.
It's hard to say because...
Let me tell you about my twos.
You
know what? Jotaro and Romelia.
Yep. If you can stop time, you're probably alright at poker.
Yeah.
What if
does this question like imply the 5-card draw that they play?
I assume so.
Because there is pretty much zero strategy to that. Like, there's no, unless there's like betting. Are they betting clothes?
Probably.
I guess.
Because like, if there's betting and folding, now there's strategy. So it'd be like, who has the best poker face?
Or
so
you
like Remy, for example, would be terrible.
You could just.
But she'd also be cheating.
You could assume that the most powerful would be the ability to see the future. Cough, cough.
Oh yeah, Jin.
But my two-who's can change the future, friend.
Everyone can change the
not
future.
To toot my horn.
With Jin, it's like he can see the future, but that ultimately means he can only get one of 5. He can only change the future to what cards he's going to get. He'll only be able to get the 5 cards that are on the top of the deck.
Still limited, but he can be like, "Oh, hey,
I
could get a pair if I discard everything but this 2."
Yeah, but say he gets a 1, 4, 5, 7, 9, and all of them are different suites.
What?
And then
Did you
an
just say you
ace,
could get
okay?
a 1, Johan?
Sweet.
But whatever, an ace. But he gets basically he gets a completely
Oh yeah,
garbage hand
the
with
1
a
of
hand.
hearts, my favorite card.
He gets a
boy.
garbage hand with a high card of like 7, and they're all different suits.
Sweet.
And then he looks into the future, and none of the 5 cards he could possibly draw from discarding are any useful.
Well, yes, that is still possible, but that's one of the few situations where the ability to see the future won't help you.
Well,
But if you could stop time,
we need Zuja on the podcast because she's the only one who's fucking seen World
Who
Trigger.
knows how Jin works?
Yeah, like can
But if you-
okay, so
if you
Jin
can
can see
stop-
the future. Does that mean he can change the, or is it just like he knows just has to deal with it?
but if you can stop time,
never
you
know.
can pick your cards.
Yeah, you can just rig the game, and you can go beyond rigging the game for yourself. You can make everybody else have the worst possible hand, and you can just royal
Mirror
flush
could pull
everyone.
cards from other rounds.
Oh, ooh,
She could have 5 aces.
ooh.
Well, then she would lose because that's not a hand.
Ooh.
Wrap your head around that.
Damn, that's a brain explosion right there.
It's not a
I
valid
have a
poker
pair of
hand.
aces of hearts.
Should we move on to the next question?
No,
I
just a
guess.
quick one to pad it out.
I would need more details.
Yeah, if you don't consider any of like the cheating characters,
Then
then
probably me or
Mia or Kyoko, just people who are good at bluffing and thinking.
I mean, like characters in this game are sort of written to like immediately give away how good their hand is, and I think most of them wouldn't do that normally.
Yeah.
But to be fair, like there's no betting in this game, so there's not a whole lot of reason to actually do that, to like actually bluff, because you can't change anything. Like there's no reason to fold, so there's no reason to like make others believe that your hand is good.
I think in universe Jotaro's good at poker, so even without the time stop, I think.
Oh, he just bluffs out of his mind. I don't think he's any good at it.
But it worked. He beat the world's best gambler.
I mean, I think many people would be very intimidated by Jotaro doing anything. It's a bit of an unfair comparison. But yeah, that's fine.
So my answer is
Vandred
Jotaro,
actually-
no matter how you slice it.
Vandred actually has poker. Like one of their quartermaster plays it all the time and like makes rookies play it in order to get to know them. So
There you
it's
go.
actually like the 5-card draw.
Bit of Vandred lore for you all.
It's like episode 4.
I need to finish Vandred.
Hell yeah.
I haven't even finished the first episode.
I haven't
It's
even
like 20
started
minutes
the
long.
first
How do you stop in the middle of an episode?
Shit happens.
I guess it wasn't grabbing your attention.
It was, but shit happens.
Did someone die?
Well, I hope, but God, I hope not. Anyway, the next question is, would any of you guys actually play SPNati or Super in real life if the opportunity arose? Depends, I guess.
What do you mean play SPNati in real life?
Yeah.
I don't know, that's
the
what
part
the
I was
question
talking about.
asked. If it
I'm
was
just gonna
the
sit here with a couple of my real life friends and play SPNati? Hell fucking yeah. This sounds like a great time.
I think
Does
it
that mean
means
like if
you were
SPNati
able
beat me
to
in real
walk-
life and I played strip poker with Maya and then I unlocked her epilogue? Fucking yes. What kind of stupid question is that?
Oh yeah,
I think the
absolutely.
question is literally if you could walk into the inventory and play a game, would you?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. I like it.
I think I would on the condition that there are no other males at the table, because, you know.
Yeah, you don't get stuck with fucking like your waifu and then Captain America.
I'm stuck with just Captain
Just like-
Falcon, Jin, Ryuji, and I
Yeah,
don't know,
it's just
another male. It's like, well, guys,
As long as Moon is not on the table, it's fine.
Would you not take the chance if it was for your waifu?
I don't know.
My
Do you want to get like hopelessly outclassed right in front of her?
Not if you don't lose. It'll be like Schrodinger's dick.
If you win, that means that she's just gonna watch some mega buff dude jerk off for. I guess if you were guaranteed the epilogue.
Yeah. I imagine that it'll be the same as SPNati.
I mean, do you only get one shot at this? Because, like, what if you just happen to get absolutely luck, and then you, like, completely make yourself look like a fucking dumbass in front of your waifu and just lose immediately?
Then you close the tab that is your life and start again. Play with Kira and bite dust.
Bites the dust. Yeah, I can do that. That's the thing I can do.
As for strip poker in real life, okay, Johan, you're like entering the Twilight Zone.
Robo mode? Oh. Johan has entered SPNati already.
Am I
he's
still
going
there?
right
Beat
now.
us to it.
Information superhighway.
You have returned, friend. How was SPNati?
It's
Did
wonderful.
you get to play with Moon?
No, but
He
anyway.
has chlamydia now.
We tried playing against Monica, and well,
Basically, if
would die.
you bring Kira with you, your waifu won't pick Kira over you, no matter who you are. So
He accidentally sat on Moon's bar stool, and now he has AIDS.
Oh god,
Yikes.
Yeah.
what a letdown! I didn't even get him doing something cool.
As for playing strip poker in real life, I'm not gonna say I'm like horribly ashamed of my body, but once again, like I really doubt that it'd be me and 4 cute anime girls. So I'm not sure exactly what the appeal of that would be.
to be fair, the population of the inventory seems to be about 80-90% female, so
Some
Yeah.
pretty good odds there.
this is the promised land.
I think I've answered this on a podcast before, but you have one other dude there, and like if he has a bigger dick, the night's ruined.
Not if he's Kira. It doesn't matter if it's Kira. They will not pick Kira over you.
Are you sure? I mean, he's lured at least like 48 women
Well,
into getting it
Man
on.
is an expert at the craft.
alright. Shall we move on to the next question?
Yep.
Sure.
If you could have dinner with 3 SPNati characters, who would they be and why? Rinka, Chiaki, Futaba. Top 3.
Would that be
Never would have guessed.
would that be like a pig over a campfire and like Rinka would be outside?
No.
Would Rinka get dressed up and go to a fancy dinner?
You know what? Maybe a camping dinner would actually be kind of fun with Rinka. She can make fire happen.
Cozy.
Yep.
That's very
See,
cozy.
I kind of like this question because, not being sexual, I don't have to omit males from the outset. So I have no idea because I was unaware of this question leading up to this. But I don't know, probably Nehru because I'm self-obsessed, and I don't know, maybe Ryuji and Natsuki. Natsuki would be there for sure.
Why not, Saki?
No reason.
You just like her? So the other tables will think it's like you, Nehru, and then your daughter, Natsuki.
I mean, there are probably weird time shenanigans, so which we could probably have a time shenanigans table sometime soon, especially like when Lucina hits the tables or something.
Jotaro, nothing time.
We might already be able to.
Remy can jump in. I think we're close. Well, we got 3 at least. At the very least.
We've got Kira rewinding time, Jotaro and Remelia's maid stopping time. We've got Nehru doing.
Nehru.
I still don't understand what Nehru does.
She does everything.
Too much of a brain to understand her.
Controls time.
Oh boy.
Actually, it's never really clear what she does, but I mean,
So
You can
you
move
just
back-
write specifically vaguely about it.
She can move back and forth to set periods in time in the game. I think it's more specific than that, like if you were to actually meet her, but
Let's get a Shigeru Miyamoto on the podcast and ask him.
Please explain, sir.
yeah, and then
How does your wife
Yo.
to commemorate,
Yo,
I can
Shiggy,
commemorate our
what's
cease and
Nehru's
desist.
deal?
Shiggy, what's the diggy?
Shiggy my diggy.
I can ask him why he made Xenoblade 2. Why he let that happen.
You.
Was he in control of that?
He could have vetoed it, I'm sure.
He did it because he got pirated,
no.
bro, let's be honest.
Okay, so obviously I'd have dinner with Maya, and if I could just leave it at that, it'd be nice.
You could just have 3 Mayas.
Yeah, Maya.
If
Oh,
and
no.
then, oh,
if
fuck,
I had
they're
to
not
pick 2
SPNati
other
yet.
girls, well, they wouldn't be my 2 other girls because you don't want dinner with Revy. Like, she
You
wouldn't
say
have
that.
she wouldn't have good table manners. She wouldn't pay her side of the bill. She wouldn't tip. She'd just be a bitch to the waiter. You'd be a little embarrassed around her.
Hey, you get to spend time with Revy, and that's what matters.
And then she'd call you a pussy for being embarrassed.
Hey, that sounds like a good night to me.
Maybe if Revy promised to behave herself, but I don't think that's going to happen. Jura would have fine table manners. Barnett, her girlfriend is also in the game in her epilogue. Can we just have those 3?
You know what, Spananon?
Yes.
Yeah, you can have that.
I could
See,
look for
this
someone
question would be a
else.
lot easier.
Let's check out. Let's check out the
I
banner here.
assumed that if it was not the way it was, I imagine you'd pick Say.
Again, Say might get a little. She might have a little wine, and make things awkward for everyone.
Awkward. Come on, that sounds fun.
Chun-Li's pretty polite. I think she'd be a nice table mate. She's able to behave herself.
Alrighty. What about you, Mystic? Oh wait, you already answered. Wait, my bad.
No, I haven't.
Wait, I thought you said okay.
Trying to steal my answer away from me?
No, I'm just a fool.
No, that is fine. No, at first I thought what would dinner with Ramilia, Zizo, and Revy be like, and then I figured I probably wouldn't live past the dinner. I think things would get a little bit chaotic. So my other answer,
Yeah, that sounds painful.
my other answer would be Nugi, Monica, and Kizuna. Because that just sounds like a recipe for a really, really good time.
I think you'd be like tripping balls by the end.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but like I said, that sounds like a good time, sure. I have no
I'm
problem
supposed
with
to Maya's
that.
butt in the chat, by the way. So just so I can look at it for the rest of these questions.
Mystic's here for a good time, not a long time.
This conversation's not grabbing me, so I'm just gonna stare at her butt for a while.
You are a cultured and refined individual, Spinanon, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
He knows what he likes.
Yeah. Truly a gentleman and a scholar.
There's no such thing as an evil ass, man.
This.
That's what prison school taught us.
Yep, that is correct.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's it.
what is a character that you're surprised hasn't been suggested yet?
Ooh.
That feels like a tough one, because it feels like all the characters that
Yeah, I think
all the characters that are worth suggesting have at least been suggested. If not on the Reddit.
I like Mega Man and all of its girls, and I don't think they've all been suggested. So all the navigators
have been suggested.
from Mega Man X, like Alien, Layer, and Palette, CL from Mega Man Zero, Fairy Leviathan, Ale from Mega Man ZX, Ash from ZX Advent, Pandora. You could have a lot of fun dialogue with them being Reploids. So human, robots with human intelligence. kind of get into the sexuality there. That's kind of interesting.
Some deep lore right
Yeah,
there.
or you could do like Roll or like Tron Bon or something. I just like Mega Man, so I hope that someone makes those girls one day. especially Alia,
Again.
because then you could just like every line could just be her telling you like how to play poker again, giving you a tutorial on like how to pick cards.
Oh boy. Oh
How to
boy.
advance the dialogue. Mega Man, come in.
Oh, that sounds great.
Press right to move right.
Almost
You gotta make sure the players know what they're
as
doing.
insightful as Omochow.
When you Omochow gives better advice. I don't know why people hate Omochow so much. Like he's pretty easy to avoid. What's like everyone's fetish for hating Omochow, honestly?
I don't know.
Just like,
I
nobody likes forced
100% at Sonic
tutorials.
Adventure 2, and at no point was like, oh, fucking won't leave me alone. Like that's not the awful part of that game. The awful part of that game is the treasure hunting parts.
Objectively wrong. Pumpkin Hill for SPNati went.
Okay, the music's good. The gameplay is fucking shit. The gameplay is
Yeah, Pumpkin Hill!
the gameplay is a dice roll.
Anyway, this is a Pumpkin Hill cast. Yes.
I would gladly turn
Yes.
this into the Sonic Adventure 2 podcast.
One day.
oh boy.
I mean, they go to space. I mean, you know, Kill la Kill already rips off Sonic Adventure 2, so now you understand my appreciation for it.
When are we gonna get the Shadow the Hedgehog fursuit for May? Oh,
For who?
For Maya.
Why would it be Maya?
I have no idea.
just to spite you.
Where's the joke, Johan?
I'm an idiot dummy who missaid you said the wrong thing. I meant to say Ryoko.
You want to try that name again?
No, I don't, because I'm gonna get it wrong.
Johan, can you say Ryu?
Ryu.
Can you say Ko?
Ko.
Then put it together. Ryuko.
Ryoko. It just doesn't flow.
Are you fucking serious, dude?
Ryuko. Ryuko.
Ryuko.
It feels forced.
Say it all Japanesey. Ryuko.
No. When I say Ryuko, it feels forced. When I say Ryoko, it feels more natural.
It's also not her fucking name.
Okay. Shadow the Hedgehog fursuit for Ryuko Wen.
Oh, I should definitely make that a line to Amy Rose. That, like, Shadow is her persona.
Nice.
Should totally do that.
Oh, good stuff.
I
Make it
mean,
happen,
Kill la Kill
Sonic.
just, like, takes place in Japan. There's no reason there's not a video game. So, like, maybe she played Sonic Adventure 2 at one point. It's just, like, I really like that Shadow guy.
I would base my whole life around him.
This character was made
Dark
for me.
and brooding.
Turns out that, like,
Yeah,
Sonic
this
Team
is-
is owned by Revox.
Wow. That's
Shadow was
some
just
really
developed
deep
from
lore, huh?
Ryuko.
Okay. What was the fucking question? What's the character you haven't surprised hasn't been suggested yet?
I answered that already.
I have no idea, because it feels like everybody who's worth suggesting has been suggested. At least suggested somewhere.
Yeah,
mean-
it's a hard question to answer because you just assume that everything's been suggested.
I mean, if you haven't seen them be suggested, what's the difference?
Yeah,
I feel like the list of
I'm-
characters who've been suggested is comparable to the list of characters that Akinator knows.
You know what?
that's
It's
a
not,
fair estimate.
it's not
Akinator
wrong.
wasn't able to guess Maya.
Yikes.
Ouch.
Hey, I know what that's like.
Oh.
I've tried Xenoblade X characters on it and failed, so I'll drink to that, my sci-fi space obscure brother.
Okay.
Brother.
Brother!
You're not even old enough to drink.
Win.
Well, if you don't have an answer, we could all just stare at Maya's butt for a couple minutes.
That'd be nice.
I mean,
Well,
I
I
have
think
answers
that-
along the veins of I haven't seen them suggested, even though they probably have been. Like, I'm surprised we haven't seen the rest of the Fire Emblem casts being suggested. Because surely now that we have 17 of them, we can have the other 200. Why not?
That's a little bit of a loophole.
Okay, there are a lot of fucking Fire Emblems. My specific answer I wrote down on my script is Robin, though. I'm surprised Robin specifically has not been suggested or pushed for.
Yeah. I guess that is true.
Yeah, you would think she's in Smash is enough to get, hey, put this character in my SPNati. I also wrote that any of the girls from Sengoku Rants. I know that Bokuman on the Discord specifically has a raging man boner for Kenshin, so I guess she has been recommended. But all the other waifus from the game have not been, and that saddens me.
I think I had a model for one of the Sengoku girls. I was talking to somebody who wanted to write her, but never did anything. I'm trying to remember who the fuck it was. She basically looks like female Jotaro.
She looks like male Jotaro.
Female Jotaro.
Like female Jotaro. My Rent's lore is weak.
Daidoji, I think.
Daidoji.
I could be thinking of a different
Yeah, I think
series.
that's a Senran and Kagura girl.
Oh, they're different?
Yeah, no. Oh
wait, Sengoku Buster is the one that's... right, wait, what? Sengoku? Fucking,
Johan, please.
There's so many, and I'm wrong. And I'm just taking it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to sit this one out and cry for a little bit. That was pretty sad.
Oh shit, were we having a conversation?
Kind of. It was more like me struggling.
The power of Maya's butt is strong indeed. It's taking all my willpower to speak right now.
Yeah.
I had one more answer, but I searched the character's name beforehand, and I found out they have been suggested. And they've been suggested by none other than Johan himself. I'm surprised we haven't got it was Sylvie.
Sylvie from Teaching Failing?
Yup.
I wouldn't object, but I feel like there's Mad Hansen vibes there.
It would be, fucking impossible. But I mean, I'm surprised no one on Eiko has suggested it.
But imagine the Hanako banter.
Fucking rules. Yeah, that's it. You have a table of Hanako, of
Sylvie,
Sylvie, and Balalaika. You just have
and Kyoko.
Yeah, there you go. The bacon table. It's perfect. And yeah.
Anyway.
Also, through a side note that I can't believe I was the first one to make a boat wife.
Speaking of unfinished characters in Balalaika, I guess that's the next question is, what's a unfinished character you'd like to see finish the most? Purple Alice or Snake Alice?
X-Maniac.
Does that count? I think it's incomplete, not characters that haven't... I think it's characters that fell off testing.
I mean, I've only been here long enough to see 2 characters fall off test. Oh, 3 now. I've seen Winter, Snake Alice, and Clover fall off testing. Oh, no, I'm forgetting Sayori.
Oh fuck! I'm forgetting Sayori too.
Yeah, fuck. If I had
I'm forgetting Sayori.
We're in the Monica timeline.
I wouldn't say she fell off of testing. She's kind of just suspended above it.
Don't you do it? Why?
Spin on you, fuck.
She fell off of testing, but she didn't fall very far.
She'll always be my dearest friend.
Ouch.
I chose that option, and I feel no guilt.
Yeah, I mean, I picked the same one, because Natsuki is a good.
I mean, I picked it for Yuri, but I respect that.
Wow. Team anti-Sayori. Yikes. Yeah, if I had to pick one of the four, I guess Snake Alice, actually. Snake wife is a good wife.
Anyone else?
I already said Sayori.
Okay.
I already said Hex Maniac.
Final question is one that got added tonight, so nobody is prepared for it.
Yeah, this one's a surprise.
What's a character whose model you love to see but don't even begin to know how to write? I made a rather nice-looking Shun Kurosaki model from Yu-Gi-Oh! Archive, my favorite male character from anything ever, but I don't know how I'd be able to translate it into SPNati.
I mean, my cheat answer is Beatrice. Like, I know how to write her. I just don't think I would be capable of writing her perfectly. Like, every fiber of my being screams to me to hurry up and make Beatrice, but I am weak. My writing skills is not great enough. Yeah, I also have reading her. That's literally like something like that.
Sorry.
Everyone's son's a robot.
Okay,
Okay,
so it
was
wasn't
that,
just me,
was that
thank
just
God.
me?
It's over?
Everyone went to
I think
the
it was
Twilight
everyone.
Zone for a good, minute there.
Okay,
That was
Dipped
amazing.
into SPNati.
I blame Monica.
Like,
Yeah.
of course.
Okay, good. That wasn't just me.
Yeah, okay, it
No,
was
all
everyone.
of us.
I'm leaving that in.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Hey, man, pads out the podcast, right?
I hope that it sounded half as good as it did on my end as it did in the recording.
And
I
before
just
Craig
refrained from
somehow
speaking because I knew it was going to be bad.
I just hope Craig captured everything crystal clear.
That would be
I
so
think Craig's the
disappointing.
reason why.
Oh, there's just a segment of us being confused about absolutely nothing. Yeah, that sounds great.
Now I forget the question. I had an answer too.
If you could, who's a character whose model you'd like to see, but you'd have no idea how they'd be written or translated as Maddie?
Yeah, the answer I had doesn't really work for that anyway. I only kind of sort of heard the question.
My name is Shun Kurosaki.
Breathing.
Shun Kurosaki is my favorite male character of all time, but I don't feel like he'd be a good fit for SPNati because his two emotions are basically pissed and where is my sister, where is my friend? And so you can't really transfer that.
Oh, fucking dude. Seto Kaiba for SPNati 1.
Do you? I mean, I could do it.
Oh,
That would be a male character that I'd actually find pretty funny. Just his expressions.
He'd have Blue Eyes White Dragon printed on his underwear.
That shit would be the motherfucking ass.
I might make a model tonight.
Oh my fucking god. Make it happen, Johan. Make it happen.
I'll make a model. I'll promise nothing.
That one Japanese Kisuke Twitter had like that kick-ass Seto Kaiba model.
I might look at that for
Yeah,
inspiration.
Just steal it.
No, that's dirty, and it probably doesn't have the dragon underwear. He needs the dragon underwear.
Yeah. Like, you can spend 5 minutes making a hot garbage model, but then just put the dragon underwear and I'll be a happy man.
Have him roll in on like a helicopter or like a motorcycle or something.
Oh god.
That's his first
Dynamic
layer. Is he strips
entry.
his helicopter?
Oh yes, his
It just
first
takes
layer. His first layer is
Oh,
You cut out.
yeah, we lost you again, Joe.
You're still cutting out. You're still cutting out.
At least we have a name for the episode. Technical difficulty.
Johan's been sent to the Shadow Realm.
We kicked him into the SPNati.
Am I here?
He never managed to get up.
Yes.
Okay. I forgot what I was saying.
Seto Kaiba.
We were stripping off Seto Kaiba's helicopter layer last we were here.
Okay. I can make a Seto Kaiba model. I don't think I can make a helicopter in Gisuke.
A shame.
I could try my hand at it, but it'll take forever.
Me and some other people are already working on a mass collab for Akiza Tenjoin from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. And Rapid Bagel's making Yummy Yugi, but it's the abridged version. The Dark Magician model exists. I'm sure we could get a Yu-Gi-Oh! Table going.
Oh boy.
The card games table.
Card games on tables.
Children's card game.
Suddenly the card game changes and you're actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Instead of poker.
God, that'd be awesome.
Oh man. Yeah,
Except suddenly it's an adult's card game.
Strip Yu-Gi-Oh!
No, do it. Just reskin all the cards to Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards for April.
Somebody posted a really decent Elemental Hero Burstinatrix model, and then they just fucked off, and that made me sad, because I love that card.
Such is the life of SPNati. We see cool models, and then they fuck off. Sad life.
People posted some Bowsette models. Remember Bowsette?
Barely.
That was a meme.
Who?
Yeah.
They asked why we wouldn't make them for SPNati, and, well...
This
It's
is
like-
why.
I've already forgotten about it.
By the time you'd make a decent character, the meme would have been long.
Yeah. Like, we still don't have Earth Chan or Smug Wendy.
Smug Wendy's actually being
Smug
made.
Wendy, dude.
And Tim's done a really fancy hair, looking over the shoulder pose made entirely of hair pieces.
Yeah, but it's in service of a dead meme.
Well, SPNati could be the meme renaissance of just reviving old memes.
Are you gonna complain about a smug redhead with freckles? Because that's
That's true. SPNati is a great way to revive things noticing that you want people to notice, such as Vandred.
Cough.
Vandred.
Hmm.
Anyway,
And the
There
best
are
way
no more
to
questions.
revitalize interest is butts.
that's true.
Man, it's not wrong.
Since there are no more questions, do you guys have anything else you want to talk?
Reaching real deep here.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Speaking of reaching deep, can we talk about Maya's ass for a bit?
Oh my god.
It's still on the screen. It's still right there.
If you're listening to the podcast, we need you to tell us in the comments why Maya's ass is so perfect. Someone please explain.
Somebody photoshopped the Fibonacci spiral onto it.
Does she have a butt pose in game?
Yes.
How do you not know that? It plays every time. Are you saying you don't play Maya on every single table?
Yeah, by the logic of him not knowing that even though it plays every single time, logic dictates that he hasn't played her once.
I trusted you.
Oh boy.
The betrayal!
I tend to set everything to skip or play very fast and click the button a lot.
Look, man, the speed stat might be the best stat, but sometimes you do have to take it slow and smell the roses and enjoy things. Like the booty.
I've gotten to the point where I do
job.
other things with my free time. I only really play to test now. I've gotten to that point.
Oh, the good old play to
You're
test
one of
life.
us.
Yeah, that
It's the
basically
true
means that
meta.
you're officially one of us.
Yep. Enjoy your time. I've got a quick curveball question, actually. Now that
okay.
Kazuna Eye has actually been released, who is your new most awaited waifu for SPNati? As in works in progress.
Excluding
X-Maniac.
Hanako, and because I helped make her, and she's one of my favorite waifus of all time. Yuri from Doki Doki Literature Club, because I really like that character. Ryuko from Kill la Kill, because Spinanon is a fucking god tier writer, and he's really good every time.
All right, well, we'll see if I can go 4 for 4.
Setsuna from Fire Emblem Fates, because Cog is also really good at writing, and the Ring of Banter is something I'm looking forward to. Those are the ones that are immediately coming to my mind. There's tons. I could go for hours.
You did go for hours the last time this question was asked.
But to keep it brief, those are the ones.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to keep brief this hour 50-minute podcast.
At least 17 voices. What about you, Opal? What do you have in the cards you're interested in?
I don't really know.
Oh.
We have more technical difficulties.
Back.
Well, it's turn.
It's because of it's fucking everything.
Maybe. I do claim to be responsible, but I wouldn't mind.
Everyone else here is American. Europe can ocean away.
Yeah, but everybody dies when Johan dies.
Am I still dead?
No, I can hear you good.
Okay, I'm back. Anything? Okay, so anybody else got work in progresses they're excited for?
Satsuki Kiryuin from Kill la Kill. Sort
Black
of a
Blue is
Ryuko's
amazing.
rival, who's being made by Black, who's the creator of Misato, Jolene, and Jotaro. And then it's collabing with Cog, who made Pit, Mahiru, Palutina, and what's her face?
Mia.
Right. The mole.
Those two are really solid creators, and so
those two together. So I'm gonna target the shit out of her with Ryuko, and I think a good number of their poses is just going to be those two fighting. They're just going to start swinging swords at each other halfway through.
Hopefully, oh man, Mystic's typing in chat. Apparently his mic died or something. Ah, there he goes.
Rip.
Hopefully that doesn't fuck up the recording.
Dude, can you stop posting in chat? You're bumping Maya's butt up.
He's posted again.
Golf.
You're back, Mystic.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, about that whole Australian internet thing, I think you're right.
Hopefully that didn't fuck up the recording.
Yeah.
Is it that fragile?
Anyway, I feel like the episode's over. Unless anybody else has anything to add.
More or less, I think.
I posted another Maya butt.
Oh, more?
It's a good butt.
Oh, God bless.
Alright, well, I guess that's all we've got for today. Thanks, Mystic and Opal, for coming on again.
No problem.
Yeah, it's great fun.
Thanks, Banana, for being my co-host.
No, it's my pleasure.
And thank you for listening. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Good.